Thank you all for joining. This is our fourth session of the day. We have BOKS here going to do a little presentation on creating an active learning classroom environment. We're super excited to have Heather, Heidi, Jenny, and Laura from the BOKS team. And I will go ahead and pass it on to them, and the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm waving to you. I love this virtual world. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us today because I know you had a lot of options. So we're super excited that you chose to spend almost an hour with us today. So welcome and thank you again for joining us. So I'm going to pull up a presentation in a few minutes. I'll talk about myself, and Heather will talk about herself, Jenny, and then Heidi's kind of just like the quiet BOKS person in the background, just monitoring the chat. So she will be helping us. So if you have any questions or anything throughout the presentation, please throw that in the chat. So let me just share my screen for a second. Give me a minute. Give me a second. I always have to make sure that because we have some videos to do, I have to make sure that I turn that on.
Good job remembering.
Share the sound. Okay. All righty. Everybody see my screen all right?
Yes.
I hope you're saying yes, because I can't see any of you. So welcome. So we are BOKS, which stands for Build Our Kids Success, and you are here in the Create an Active Learning Classroom with BOKS and our resources. So we will go through that as this presentation, as we go through the different slides. So let's go to the next slide here. So I'm Laura Barati. I am the manager of curriculum training and partnerships development for BOKS. I've been with this program since it started, we've been in running for about 12 years now. So it's been a while. And I'm just going to pass it over to Heather and we're just going to introduce ourselves, just quick introductions. So Heather, go ahead.
I'm Heather Chase. As just Laura said, I've also been here since the beginning, about 12 years. Right now, I'm working, doing most of like curriculum and training, developing curriculum, new bursts, different activities. I've taught BOKS in the past and done all this with the elementary and middle school aged kids. On to you, Jenny.
My name is Jenny Pasquarelli. I am a PE teacher, and I have been with the program since the beginning as well. I am part of the training team, as well as helping develop the curriculum and development aspects. I do BOKS at my school. We used to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a separate Tuesday, Thursday, because our program was so huge, and to try to get as many kids involved in our community as possible. But since COVID, we pushed back a tiny bit, and now we're just doing a Tuesday, Thursday program. And that's who I am.
Heidi, go ahead. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name's Heidi McGrath. I've been with the program since the beginning. I've kind of worn many hats. You know, I started off as a trainer at a school, and I grew my program from 3-day-a-week program to a 5-day-a-week program. And now I'm actually the face behind info@bokskids.org. So it's really important today. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. If you don't remember to do that, again, you can just go right to our website and email me at info@bokskids.org, and I'll be able to answer anything you have.
Thanks, Heidi. Just as a reminder, throw the questions in the chat. If we have time after, we certainly can unmute and chat because we'll try and give a few minutes at the end if you want to unmute and talk to us. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to basically go in, we're going to talk about what BOKS is all about, the benefits of physical activity, which you're all very, very aware of, but we'll just touch on that very briefly. What we have to offer, we do offer a lot of programming, it's different styles of programming, but for today, we're going to focus on our in-classroom activities. So since that is the focus of our presentation today and what you guys want to hear about. So that's what we'll be mainly working on today, as well as how to use BOKS. Basically, we'll show you quickly what the Trainer Hub is. That's basic. It's our password protected website where we hold all our resources, and we'll just touch on that at the end of the presentation so you'll know. So basically, BOKS is, and I don't know if any of you knew this, or actually, if you want to put in the chat, is if you can put a thumbs up if you've ever heard of BOKS before. Heidi, you're gonna have to tell me. I don't actually see the chat right currently.
No, nothing yet.
Nobody's heard.
Somebody
Okay.
has.
Somebody has.
Janae has.
Yeah, there's been quite a handful that have heard of BOKS before.
Okay, perfect.
I would
so-
say it's like 50-50.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. So BOKS, I don't know if you know, but BOKS is a 100% free evidence-based physical activity program designed to get kids active and to establish a lifelong commitment to health and fitness. I know a lot of people don't realize that we're free sometimes, and a lot of people are like, how can that even be? But that's what we are. We are a 100% free program. A little bit about us. The reason for being, how we can be a free program is we are a nonprofit initiative of the Reebok Foundation. So they have supported our program since we've started back in 2010. And as said before, we are a physical activity program designed to get kids active and establish a lifelong commitment to health and fitness. Our mission is basically to make physical activity and play part of every child's day. It's plain and simple. We are just trying to get more activity and resources to teachers, PE teachers, parents, anybody that is willing to get their kids moving more throughout the day. We offer well over 500 free activities for all ages to be used in schools, communities, at home, from early childhood all the way through high school. So we have a lot of different programming options for you and your schools and classrooms and community groups. Some of our core values that is established throughout all of our programming is teamwork. We're very much trying to pull together kids to do some teamwork stuff within our activities, as well as individual performance. Within our functional fitness curriculum, we have a 400-meter metric, which kind of establishes that individual performance, but it's both, we work both teamwork as well as individual. We also offer leadership opportunities throughout our programming. We encourage kids to lead lines, to even talk about to lead our nutrition bit, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. But the main focus throughout all of our programming is to be fun. So those are really our core values throughout all of the different programming options that we have. So why BOKS? Basically, because kids are not getting enough physical activity during the day. We've been around for a while to know that within every state, within every district, within every individual school, all of the PE time varies. So you know, in a district alone, one school could have PE once a week, or some schools might have it 5 days a week. We don't know. There's no real standardization. So why BOKS has been popular over these years is because it just allows more activity throughout the day. So if kids don't get PE that often, this allows classroom teachers and parents to utilize our resources to meet that 60 minutes of physical activity, which is recommended by the CDC. So that's why BOKS has been around so long and why it's been popular. As you know, benefits to physical activity, it can improve academic performance. It can improve executive functioning skills, as well as their physical fitness level, as well as part of our curriculum. We also offer nutrition bits, what we call. So it increases nutritional knowledge. So how our program started, it was basically back in 2009 by a few moms actually in Natick, Massachusetts. That's where our program originated. And it was this book by Dr. John Rady, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen or heard of before. It was the inspiration behind our program. The founder of the program read this book, and if those of you that may not know this book, there was a study done in Naperville that with 19,000 students that did a before school programming, and it improved their academics greatly and tremendously. So my boss, or the founder of the program, read this particular book and was like, well, if that's the case and kids can do better academically by doing physical activity before school, then why isn't every kid doing it? So that was really what kind of sparked her to start this program. And that's exactly what she did. She went one school at a time in Natick, Massachusetts, which is where Jenny, you met from a BOKS team earlier, that's where the program originally started, was in her school. So from there, obviously we've grown quite a bit, but that is really the reason, and this book is the inspiration behind the program. As I mentioned before, we are evidence-based programming. We definitely have done studies over the years, which has shown improved BMI. Kids have deeper social connections with friends and peers. They've improved executive functioning skills. So there's a lot of improvement that have happened over the years. We've been published in different, the American Journal of Preventive Medicine and the New York Times. So we definitely have done our research behind our program. Some of the program benefits. So the benefits to the kids, obviously engaging with BOKS and focusing on increasing physical activity, we can enhance a young person's health outcomes, physically, mentally, and socially, as well as have a more positive effect on academics. The benefits to the community is we're closing the inequality gap by providing tools for kids, physical activity, and nutrition. Our free program contributes to proactive healthcare and education of communities and schools in need. So we benefit both the kids as well as the community. So here's some numbers from over the years. We've had 1 million kids active. We hit that last year, which was a huge accomplishment for us. We are a global program. We are in 35 different countries. We've had over 8,000 enrollments or signups, and we have over 9,000 trainers active currently. So those are just some quick numbers for those of you that like the numbers. I think I'll skip over this, why people love BOKS. So how do we make a difference? You know what, our stuff is really fun. Our activities are meant to be fun, and they're pretty easy to run. So that's why we kind of make the difference. We try to make everything easy for teachers and PE teachers to utilize our stuff. We appeal to all, our programming appeals to all school age kids. And they also allow for physical distancing, which was once, well, still is, but it was very much needed, as we all know. So we do have some resources that encourages physical distancing as well. It can be used in the classroom, at home, inside, or outside. So we try to make it easy, and we try to do most of our stuff with very low to no equipment, because we know a lot of schools don't have all the equipment sometimes. So a little bit about our programming. So today, as I had mentioned, we are focusing on what's called our BOKS bursts, which are our 1 to 10 minute activities that is ideally used in the classroom, but we also have other programming, such as we have 40 to 45 minute lesson plans, programs that last anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. So that, as Jenny had mentioned earlier, and Heather, they run the before school programming. So they run it 2 to 3 days a week and for 12 weeks. So we have that. We have mindfulness and movement and yoga flows. We have fitness calendars that are based off of our BOKS bursts, which will be super useful in the classroom. We have a boot camp for middle age to high school kids. We have a high school program that incorporates Spartan races. I don't know if you're familiar with Spartan races, but it's obstacle course racing. So we have a partnership with Spartan races as well as we have running programs. But we'll go over a little bit in that in a minute. So before I go on, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Is there, before we start actually going into the BOKS Burst stuff, which Heather's going to take us through, and then Jenny's going to talk about how she implements in her classroom, is there any questions in regards to BOKS and who we are before we move on? Heidi, is there any questions that you've got?
No, there's just been some chat about, PE and how often some people have had it run in their schools. It seems like there's someone that they run it every day.
That's awesome.
Right?
I love that.
For 60 minutes.
That is awesome. I love hearing that.
Yep.
I wish every school could do that.
I'm a special ed teacher at the Virtual Academy, and I teach resource English. Do you think your program can help me?
Oh, sorry, I didn't quite get the question. Sorry, I was my video or my sound is breaking up a little bit.
I said my name is Josephine Cronin. I'm with Nevada Virtual Academy. I teach high school resource English, and I was wondering, would your program be able to help me?
Oh, yes. So you teach virtually. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And Jenny can talk about that too, because she had a couple of years of teaching virtually. So she definitely she can talk about that too. Jenny, you want to put that in your notes to discuss when we get to you?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
welcome.
she mentioned she teaches special ed. So we we also have a partnership with Special Olympics, and we have a lot of different tips and tricks and things to help implement our program with those with that special population.
Thank you. I didn't catch that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Thank you so much.
And Jenny can talk about that as well, because yes, she does a lot with that. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'll share again, and I will kick it to you, Heather.
Okay, so which is the meat of our program today is our BOKS Bursts. This is our BOKS Burst. It's our curriculum. It's our guidebook. We have on the right, you see, we have over 200 activities in this burst. And we put this out about 1.5 years ago, and I think we have probably 25 to 100 more. So they're quick. I think Laura mentioned this, a little bit a second ago, but they're quick 1 to 10 minute activity breaks that can be done at any time. So we're going to see a few slides where you could use it virtually for, I think it was Josephine that just asked that question, but where you could, put it into your presentation and you can the kids can, get up and do the activities. Or, if you're in the classroom, you can do them in the classroom. We actually do the BOKS Burst sometimes at the middle school as some of our lessons. They're, because they're a good kind of filler beginning end. I think I did just see in the chat too, someone said, our kids come in and go right to class. So this, 10 minutes of activity would be great for them. And these are, really quick activities that they can do anywhere, anytime. They can even do, you could have, kids send them home and they can do them before school. So they're really versatile, really self-explanatory. And a lot of them have links to our YouTube page where you can actually see them being done, because sometimes it's easier to see it and learn what it is than to read it. So, next, please. Sorry. So the way they're organized, we have individual bursts, which are designed so the kids can do by themselves. They could do them at a desk in the classroom. They could be doing them, at home virtual learning, but it's designed more like it's kind of challenge yourself. Then we have partner bursts, which, usually 2 people, but sometimes, 2 or 3 people to do a challenge together. And you need, definitely need a couple people. The group bursts, these are more, more game-ish, more for like a whole classroom to do together. And there's just lots of teamwork, different things in there for groups. Next. Oh, okay. So this is an example of one of our bursts in the individual section, and it's called Adventure Run. It gives you what the materials you need to run the burst. So, right from the beginning, on the right-hand side tells you about how long the burst will take. But even given the time, you can always shorten it a little bit if you don't have that much time, or increase it. Grades, it tells you what grades it's designed for, but depending on your school, it can be flexible. Medium space would mean you need not a large amount of space to do the activity, but you can do it in a smaller area. And then once you're on our document, you can click the link and get right to the video. But this one is designed, as it says, it's an individual burst, and it just needs one person, whether the trainer, the teacher, or it could even be a student. If it was a student run burst, and they just kind of cue everybody to, all right, we're going to get up and we're going to jump over logs. So you want to get the kids moving, and they're going to be pretending what they're going to do in this one. High knees through quicksand, something like this. You just kind of need somebody with a lot of enthusiasm that's going to make it really fun for the kids. Each month we have a BOKS fitness calendar, and this comes out usually the week before the next month starts. This is an example of our September calendar, and September, each month has a theme. So September, we were not too creative here, but our theme is back to school. And so each day has a different burst that whether it's the PE teacher, the classroom teacher, or at home, that the kids can do these bursts. And these all primarily have the links, so they can, easily, if you have a screen in your classroom or the hallway where, the hallway or the gymnasium, the kids can do the activities. There's also, with each week, a weekly challenge. And so where we head back to school, we went with teamwork, icebreakers, kindness, friendship, and keeping it fun. And those are challenges that you could do, the whole class for the whole week, or sending it home, and maybe they would do this in their home setting. Fridays, there's a lot of times a theme as well. And I believe this one was mindfulness. So we see the green Friday, it says square breathing, and they're doing a mindfulness, like kind of a SEL activity. And yeah, each month has a different theme. I think November is nutrition. Then we go to the winter months. January is games, which is always fun. So that's our monthly calendar. Okay, and so these are some examples of our weekly bursts. The activities in each day, these are some of the November ones. They had a portion scavenger hunt, which Laura had mentioned, our nutrition bit. And when we do our traditional program at the end of the day, we give a quick nutrition piece, whether it's, something to do with water, what's the best thing to drink at the, when you're thirsty, or how much sleep do you need? But this was an example of like a food portion scavenger hunt. And then the second day is a nutrition circle card pass, which is a more active movement activity, but it also has to do with nutrition. And then the other two are just different ones. And then one of our famous and most popular BOKS bursts are the ABCs. And as PE health teachers, you may have seen this, where each letter of the alphabet is designated with a scale. Say, A might be squats, B might be sit-ups, C might be jumping jacks, all the way down the line. And then we had a quick little blurb about breakfast, and the kids were to spell the word breakfast and do the activities with each letter. So that's kind of an example of 1 week of BOKS bursts. Next. Next, Laura.
Sorry, I wanted to talk. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, we
I
can
think
hear
I
you.
was talking and I
Oh.
realized none of you could hear me. I just wanted to reiterate here. So Heather talked about the calendar that you saw from the previous slide. So what happens is like when you sign up for BOKS, like you're automatically signed up for the BOKS Burst email, which is what this is showing you here. This is basically giving you an example of what is in the email. So meaning, so every week you'll get your BOKS Burst for the week. You'll get that on a Sunday, and then this is just kind of an example of what that comes in. So every week you'll get this. It comes automatically to you, and it'll give you the burst for the week. And so that's just I just wanted to reiterate that. Okay, I'll go to the next slide now.
Sorry. This is an example. Oh, I just mentioned the ABC workout. So this is an example of one of our, about a year or so ago, we did some professionally taped bursts, and this is one of them. We have about 20 of these professional ones, and then we probably have 120 that are amateur videos. I think we're going to watch this for a few seconds.
Hey everyone, today's burst is called the ABC workout. Who knows how many letters are in the alphabet? How many? 26. Yes, that's right! So we have one move for each letter in the alphabet. We're gonna spell some words here, but if you want to, you can go on our website and check out the ABC workout poster and do this at home. So, our first word is gonna be orange, because we're gonna do our favorite colors today. All right, so O, we're gonna do 1 foot balance for 10 seconds. Whoa. Okay. Then we're gonna run in place for 10 seconds. Then we're gonna do 10 arm circles and 9 tuck jumps. Do you wanna show us the tuck jump? Go ahead. Yeah, that's one option. You wanna show us another option?
Great job, you guys.
Woo, awesome.
All right.
All right, then G for gallop. So we're gonna gallop for 5 seconds, like we're on a horse. Well, we are a horse. And then we're gonna do extended arm plank for E. So we're gonna come down, and you can do this up on your toes or down on your knees. All right, are we ready to go? Everybody up. Are you ready to go? Are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, here we go. O. 1 foot balance, 10 seconds.
Okay, whoa, don't fall, guys.
If you have to touch down, that's totally okay. You can use your arms, try to balance. Oh, we're almost there, we're almost there. Okay, we're gonna run in place. Ready, set, go. 10 seconds, guys. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. So
you can do this.
Knees.
So yeah, so you can see what happens, and you spell out the word with each of the letters. This is just a different video. It's BOKS traffic, which the kids love. It's traffic on the spot, so it can be done at in a classroom at a desk.
Spot. We also have yellow light, which is going to be a side shuffle. Then we have speed bump, which you're going to be hopping like a kangaroo if you hear or see speed bump. And last, we have deer crossing. Deer crossing, you're gonna gallop forward and back until you hear another command. Now these cards, if they were pretty cool, you can get these on our website. And we're gonna do red light, yellow light, green light, red light, speed bump. Nice.
Sorry, totally blanking on his name right now, but that's one of our very enthusiastic Boston Public School trainers who's been with us for, he's had to have been with us for 6 or 7 years. He's a PE teacher in Boston, loves the program. So this is our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, and we've just actually kind of reorganized a little bit. Hopefully it makes it a little bit easier for everyone. If you look on the left-hand side, it starts with box movement breaks using chairs. So if the kids are in the classroom and, that's the access you have, check those out. Outdoor large space burst. Behind that first arrow is actually some STEM and STEAM bursts for, all different activities, small space, and then no equipment needed movement bursts, which are really helpful, for people kind of figuring out what they can do and what they have. Look on the bottom, we also have some basketball stuff, which we developed a whole curriculum around basketball last year, but there's a lot of quick activity bursts if you have a lot of kids that are into basketball. And we are moving on to Jen, who's going to talk about implementing BOKS or the bursts in your schools.
Hello, thanks, Heather. So there's a few different ways that we like to implement it here at our school, but it can work pretty much anywhere. One of the first things that we have been doing is the students lead their class in a quick 2 to 5 burst while the teacher is transitioning to the next lesson. We started this out by having the teacher lead it, but the whole point of having students do it is so the teacher can transition from one lesson to the other lesson. So they gave me some feedback and I took it, and being the PE teacher, I had some time within a few of my classes in our PE warm-up. I would teach some of the bursts to the students and then let the students, mostly the older students, 4th graders, bring it back to their classrooms. And then sometimes I would allow the 4th graders go into the younger classrooms where they would lead it so the classroom teacher didn't have to lead it themselves. Some of our classroom teachers felt a little uncomfortable leading it, or they said that they weren't dressed appropriately. So that's why they didn't do some of the exercises. But for the most part, having the kids lead it for themselves and having the practice while they were in PE class and then doing it to the classroom was a huge, huge, huge success. Not just doing the bursts, but many of you probably have heard of, it's in one of our resources, but the deck of cards warm up. That is something else that the teachers like to do because that way the exercises are right there, either projected on the wall or printed out, and they're just on the whiteboard for the students to see. And use half a deck, use only 10 cards for the day. You can even, the best part about using deck of cards, you can pre-plan it yourself. So you can have more endurance type of activities or moves rather. And having the students either be active pulling out the cards, or the teacher, while they're switching from one lesson to another, they could actually pull out, oh, it's a 5 of clubs. That means jog in place. And they could be the participant in doing it rather than the student if they don't feel comfortable with the students doing it yet. So that was one of the other options. And then, of course, having the kids choose. There's a lot of activities on the burst where we can teach them and show them through the YouTube videos that we've provided, but having the kids have more say in what they're doing, I feel like is a huge piece of why our program has been so successful, because the kids have been a huge part of it. Another thing we do to implement it in our school is Fitness Fridays. Every Friday, we always do morning announcements with our principal at this school. And every Friday, a student is chosen, someone that is showing like basically all of our good characteristics and qualities. And they're allowed to announce what the Fitness Friday 30-second burst would be. And they announce it. And then as a whole school, it's kind of like everyone drops what they're doing and we do it together. That's something really cool. And then you just heard a lot and saw a little bit of the ABC word of the day. Those you can play around with. You don't have to use just the ones that we have there created. You can choose what any activity you want, exercise that is. The cool thing with this one is you can match it to like the word of the day, literacy words of the day, or the younger grade level. You all have different spelling words of the day. So that is a cool thing where you're incorporating other lessons throughout the school day, and it's carrying over to fitness and getting the kids moving. And then another option we have is fitness walls. Some of you, I'm sure, have seen these. They were huge right before COVID. A lot of schools were creating them. There's actually some companies now that actually have it all like plastered and chalked out that you can buy the tape or whatever it is for it. It's basically workouts that are throughout the school, and it's posted on any of the walls, mostly near like the water bubblers in our school, that when a kid is going out for a movement break, they can see, and it says like, do 5 push-ups, do 2 frog jumps, do whatever it might be. And it's right there by our water bubble where they know that they can do it right there, get it, drink, and then go right back to class. And of course, that's something where the teacher is giving the student permission to go in the hallway. Another teacher might see them and realize, what are they doing? But it's like kind of a school culture. It's there so everyone knows how to use it. And it's something where that either me as the PE teacher or the classroom teacher has introduced and talked to a lot of the students about the expectation and behavior when you're in the hall doing that activity. Yeah. I think that's all for mine. I can elaborate if anyone has questions on any of these, if you want.
Jen, if you can just address like how you taught virtually, like for that time, just maybe since we had that question from earlier.
Oh, virtual PE teaching was my favorite. Said no one ever. So a lot of virtual things that I had done, it was basically learning as you go, because I realized I thought I was doing these really amazing lessons, but then by the end of the 6 hours on your feet doing them with the kids, you realize you were drained yourself. So what I had done is I created with the students different things that they were engaged in, but they were telling me what to do. So an example would be like, we had created Google Slides, and that was something where I created some and they were like, I thought wicked cool, but they weren't as cool as the kids were making them. So having the kids interact, and either they sent me some things or I used a lot from our bursts and whatnot, and then just made it like a little more current. Like some of the things that they like to do is picking from one thing or another. So there's a lot that you probably all saw, like these this or that, or would you rather, and things that had to do with the current times of doing something physically right then and there. And any type of would you rather or this or that, you had a picture or a video of you doing it and they were the other person doing it. So it was kind of like who's doing it better as well. And then trying to see, like, I don't know, just any time that they were a part of it and anytime that they were able to show that they were physically doing something, it made it easier for me on the other side. Because if I wasn't seeing them doing it, it's like a blank screen and they're just sitting there on their couch. And that wasn't beneficial for them, and it totally wasn't beneficial for me. So anything that they were involved in helping and creating to make, I felt was the most success in virtual.
All right. Thanks, Jen. Okay, so I am just kind of trying to keep an eye on my time here. I'm going to kind of go, this next thing is just to go over a little bit of what's just some of the, just give you an idea of some of the other stuff that we offer. It's obviously not the focus of this particular presentation, but sometimes it's good to just see, to get ideas of what else we have. I'll go through that quickly and then we'll get to the end of this. So as I mentioned before, we have the physical activity plans is really kind of our gold standard, so to speak. This is really the original program that we developed way back when, and we've kind of since developed more from this the structure that we have. So it's basically they're called physical activity or plans or lesson plans, and they range between 30 and 45 minutes. And as I mentioned before, they run, some of the programs run 8 weeks, some of them run 12 weeks, 10 weeks. We have programming all the way from early childhood all the way to high school, as I mentioned before. So that we have functional fitness based, we have fundamental movement based. So that is really kind of the original stuff that we created, and then burst followed very quickly after that. So this is just an example of what our functional fitness for elementary looks like. We do focus on a functional skill of the week. This one you can see is planks. You can see we have, happens to be a 12-week program. So you can see week 1, day 1, we have 3 days of programming as part of this, this particular lesson plans. As you can see, the structure is we've got a drop-off meeting, warm-up. We have a running activity. We have a skill of the week, which is a planks, which you can see here. And it's always followed by a game and our cool down and nutrition bit, which is over here on the right. You can see here on the left, we should tell you what materials is required. And then with the 3 points of the performance of the skill of planks. Okay, so that's kind of the layout of our lesson plans. We also have what's called lessons on demand. What this was is during COVID, our entire staff would do live Facebook workouts every day at lunchtime. And so we have the videos of all that. So what we did after that is we developed the lesson plans that went along with those workouts. So each staff member just came up with a really cool lesson plan and they would do it. And so we then took that video and wrote up the lesson plans to become this lessons on demand. So if you utilize this, it's more of it's a full kind of lesson plan like we just showed you in this last slide, but there's a video associated with it. So it's you can follow along with it. Are you game? Heather mentioned that January is typically our game. Our theme is games, but we also have a resource that is strictly games. So you can grab this, you can use it. There's some crafts in there. There's puzzles. There's about over 30 different activities in there. We're actually getting ready to, we revamp things quite a bit. So even if you grab our stuff today, come back in a year because we always update stuff. So Are You Game is one of those resources that we're getting ready to update. So there will be additional games in there for January. So check that out. That's something. We also have as physical activity plans at a distance. This requires little to no equipment at all. So we did that obviously during the COVID times. We just took some of our resources that we had and just really thoughtfully thought about how to keep people at distance. So we have that out there as well. Are you Get Your Run On? We have that, and we have an at-home version and a school version that is basically a running program that we developed during COVID. A lot of these resources we developed during COVID just because we needed to get as much activity out there to get people to use it because we knew everybody was stuck at home. So this was one of them, Get Your Run On. We also have a BOKS Junior Leadership Training Program. And this idea is to get older kids to teach the BOKS bursts that we talked about earlier in the classroom. So there's a whole program behind there. There's videos on how to do that, as well as a junior leadership certificate. So we have that program in there, which is a really, really cool thing to get kids involved in actually leading the BOKS bursts. We also have activities at recess. So if you have a structured recess, or if you need to have a structured recess, some part of a structured resource, we do have activities that are suitable for that. It can be run by a older kid could run it. It could be if there's a paraprofessional that happens to be outside. It could be anybody, a volunteer that could run these activities at recess. I mentioned this, we have mindfulness and movement flows. Again, all of these have videos associated with them, so kids can go along with the video in the classroom. We have a boot camp. I think I mentioned that. I don't want to keep talking about it. This is basically aimed at an older population, so middle to high school. It is taught by professional Reebok fitness professionals, again, with video talking about the different skill of the week. All right, ready to join the BOKS trainer community. So what does that mean? So if anybody's interested in signing up, the scan code does work. So what it does is it takes you to the sign up page. And all we basically need is information about you and your school or organization. And once you sign up, you get everything that you've seen today, plus all the other stuff that we have on that we didn't even talk about. I know Heather mentioned basketball and stuff. All of it is free. So once you get access to all of it. They will automatically enroll you in that weekly BOKS burst email that we talked about earlier. So you'll get like a weekly email of the burst for the week. Once you sign up, you will have a password, your username and password for our trainer hub. That's how you'll get access to all of the resources. So you would just come to here, you'd come to the login page off of our website, and then you would put in your email address as well as the password that you set up. That brings us to the trainer hub. As you can see, this is just the front page of the trainer hub. We have new resources or featured resources in the front. Like this obviously is taken from the summer because we put out like a whole folder of summer programming that would be good for camps and that kind of thing, as well as like whatever our calendar theme of the week would be out here, or any new resources that we might have. To give you an idea, oh, hold on, I'm gonna advance here. This is kind of what falls under each thing under our BOKS programming. You can see physical activity plans, bursts, monthly calendars, games and seasonal activities, mindfulness, flows, nutrition, junior leader. We have tools, we have a whole tools and support area that's like getting started with the program support. Sorry, I'm trying to watch my time. Posters and printables. We also have self-guided trainings on basically how to run the functional fitness program, because the lesson plans are a little bit more involved. As I mentioned, they're 3 days a week for 40 to 45 minutes. So we have a whole online training section on how to implement that in your school. Plus we have BOKS at home activities. So this is great if you have a community that's or you want to get your community more involved, you can send home some of these at home stuff. One of the other things we didn't mention too is we offer a winter fun pack and a summer fun pack. So those change every year. We usually change the theme. They're very extensive. They're usually over 50 pages. So it's geared to have activities while there might be a winter break during the holidays, as well as a summer break. This year's summer break is going to definitely focus on like a camp environment. So which will give you a little sneak preview. It's going to emphasize field days. So it's so that's actually pretty cool. But we didn't mention that before, but those are two resources that are really cool and offer a lot of different activities. Training, I don't want to go over training. We already mentioned that. We have a lot of online training. Please follow us if you like what you hear. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook, all the good things, Twitter, Instagram. We also have a private trainer community page, a Facebook trainer community page that is just strictly for BOKS trainers, and people go in there and they share thoughts and ideas, and they'll put videos in there and they'll ask questions. So that's a really great place to go for BOKS support. So next steps. So if you like what you hear, you enroll. I say enroll, but it's really just signing up. You sign up like anything else. You log on to the Trainer Hub. You can do your onboard training if you choose to do for the functional fitness. You choose the resources that you want to do, and then you have fun. It's as simple as that. I just want to put this code back up there if anybody is interested in that. Otherwise, I'm going to shut the sharing off and to see if anyone's got questions.
Can you just leave the scan code up, Laura, just for a couple, for a little bit? Sure. Just some people have mentioned.
Yeah. So I really can't really see anybody, but is there any questions that people have that either you can write it in the chat, or I know you only have a few minutes. If it's a quick question, you could probably unmute.
Kimberly, you say you can't move forward on the application.
Correct. It says the mandatory field where I heard of you. It says, please select event. The event is not listed. I keep trying to put Nevada Teaching and Learning Conference in, and it's not there. I went to the calendar because it did put a calendar, and it's not on your calendar either.
Yeah. So you could probably just use the training. Is there a drop down for training?
Okay. Oh,
Sorry
because it says how you heard about us.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'll go to training. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Anybody else? Can you put a maybe a thumbs up in the chat if you feel like this is good for you in your school, or that you might sign up for it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of positive things on there.
Oh, good. That's awesome. I feel like sometimes these trainings, it's like you get a short amount of time and there's just, we've got so much, and it's like trying to like focus my training on what you guys are actually here for, because I just want to tell you about everything. So I hope you got a lot of use out of this presentation.
Yeah, and as Heidi said at the beginning, if you have any questions after we finish, definitely go online. Feel free to email her. She loves to get so many emails.
Yeah, definitely. And if you want us to email you with anything, please throw your name and your email address in the chat. We will certainly email you with any information that you might need, or you can just, like Heather said, just email Heidi at info@bokskids.org.
Laura, someone has a question of where they can get the stats that you started with.
From the start of the like the 1 million kids, is that what you're talking about? If you put your email in the chat, I'll be happy to send you the presentation. And Heidi, if they put that in, if you can grab that. We just got to make sure we save the chat.
Laura, go back to that site and that slide, and she can take a picture as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually, that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. Hold on, I'm going to stop sharing for a second and I'll go back. And then let me see.
And I just want to interject here for a moment. While you're doing that, Laura, thank you guys so much for your presentation today. And for everyone else, I put the session survey and attendance tracker into the chat a couple of times. I will do it one more time just so you don't miss it. The next session in this room will be with these same lovely ladies, and we'll be talking about wake up your mind and body with BOKS. So we would love to have you again for the next session. With that, I'll turn it right back to you.
What room is this?
Was this the stat you were looking for?
I think it was Autumn that was looking for it.
Which one? Oh, okay. Is this the one? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
Excuse me, what room is this? Room number?
What room is this, Laura? Are we
9. It's 9.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's the one that says how it promoted the growth.
Hold on, I'll start from the beginning. Was it the research slide? That one?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you that are thinking about sticking, I don't know if you're sticking around for the next one. It will be more focused on kind of the physical activity plans that we talked about and how it can be used in like before and after school programs. So just so you know, if you're thinking about other things to go to, or you want to stick around. All righty.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. We hope to see you in the next one and appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you all